Good morning, guys.
Market is open.
Good morning, guys. Today's play is CAR and BBY. I wouldn't try to do anything with CAR right now. It's super volatile. If you try to do anything like a short, I'd wait for like upper 300s, like 375 to like 410 area. At the same time, like, buying it would be super scary right now. Every $15 is about 3% in the 300s and about 5% in the 400s. And I made a couple thousand, like 4 or 5 on it yesterday. For BBY or BBBY, the shorts are it's a higher odds in the upper 30s. For now, if anything, I kind of want to buy, but you have to wait for that morning dip first. Just let the people that were stuck overnight and like after hours and stuff like that, do their thing. If you want to do a dip buy, like give it like 3-4 minutes, and go in small. But other than that, good morning, good morning, Harry, Caesar, Hector, and Day Trading Bot. But what was I say? Oh, I wrote my plan up. Very simple plan, but also very safe. So it's gonna drop right now, but it's not gonna, just die right out of the open. And if it does, it probably wasn't worth, shorting in the pre-market because there's such a wide range, and like you want to keep yourself safe. And so it looks like CAR is finding some type of support right now. And so I might go in a little bit. So every like 50,000 or every 50 shares is about, I think it's like 1,500, like 15K. For BBBY, every 500, 600 shares is about 1,500. Or I said 1,500, 15,000. And so I'm just waiting for the shakes to go away first, because it was kind of scary yesterday. Like I went in like a good 30K, and like it's just jumping like $30 at a time, and I'm like, ooh, ah. But other than that, yeah, very simple plan today. I'm not even gonna pay attention to that. It'll still be there when I look away. So CAR is an overextended parabolic, went up over 300%, and like we know how that goes. If it goes up 300% or 400%, there's definitely going to be a big drawback, and then you can dip by that drawback. This one went to 550, which is insane. Then it pulled back a lot within about an hour. And, there's that little 15% bounce that we look for. And, what was I saying? Yeah, it formed a lot of tops at 375. A few hedge funds, a few like well-known people with like big accounts, and a lot of people were stuck at the 375 mark, and I was actually shorting that mark, and so like I got some profits from like 375 to like 315, and then covered. But there's a lot of resistance and a lot of people stuck at like the 375 mark on CAR. BBBY, this is something that's been seen like a couple months ago, and it's right at the same spot that it started before. I don't know if it'll really drop like right now, but I want to say there's not an edge for the shorts right now. If anything, the longs know that, and then that's just going to bring, a little more incentive to go long rather than short. Other than that, if you don't feel confident, this could just be the day where you just don't touch anything. Other than that, RRD, that was almost a gap through resistance, but it only had like 30 million resistance on it, so not really like worth a trade compared to like this stuff. But for now, I'll just give it a little bit. a little bit more because I kind of want to dip buy right now, risk $15, which would be like 3%, 3 to 5%, because I'll definitely go over a little bit more because it's super volatile. At the same time, I think if it does go a little bit under, it'll find some support at like the 290 area. So yeah, about 5% I'd actually risk. And when it comes to like what I would, risk for a reward, I'd cover it after like $60, which would be like, 1 to 4 or like a 1 to 2, depending on what I keep my risk as. Other than that, let's see. What did you trade yesterday to gain the 30K? Congrats. Oh, no. I was saying I put in 30K. And then that was my position size. And then from that, I gained like 16% from 390-ish to like 315, 320-ish. Yeah, actually, I think I could just show. Yeah, okay, cool. Like it's going down, but I really think it's going to find support at 290 because that's just how these big tickers work. Like you just work around, you treat it like a $5 or $3 stock. And then like, how there's always that $10, or actually it's like 10%. Like it's like a specific zone where you always find support because people are like, oh, I want to dip by this area. And so I'm waiting for those areas to show themselves. But in the meantime, let me put the stream here. Put this over here. Stop that. Go back. How do I put it back? There we go. Yeah, all over the news is very long bias for both of these. And you know how you want to do it. Like you want to short against the 90% what they're thinking. But at the same time, hedge funds and some other big players. Like these are the kind of plays they go for, especially car. And so you don't like I don't know, there's risk to reward, and like there's a high risk that like a person can come in. You don't really know what side they're on right now, but they know that the 90% are on the big side or like the long side. And so I don't think they would short right here because like they lose a lot of money and they'll blow up like Mazdez and like a few of the other people that were on Twitter. But what am I doing? Oh wait, why do I have my stats up? I was doing something. Oh yeah, Kinfo. Yeah, but other than that, you guys make money yesterday. And how you doing? And do you have any questions so far? I dare you. Find some support at 290. I triple dare you. Okay, I think it hurt me. So I kind of want to go in now. And then I'd risk the 290. That sounds like a better plan to me. Yeah, but what do I know? Let me just go to what I was doing. And I'll make this smaller. There we go. Yeah, so the hell is this? Oh. Yeah, I went in pre-market yesterday at like 280 and came right back out at 280 like a few minutes later. Yeah. So that's what this zero is. Yeah, just ignore that. But we got squeezed on OLB, and we only took like a $32 loss as we sized in pretty small, and we were waiting for like something else later, but it didn't happen. Technically it did happen, but it was just way too like volatile, and I was on car at that time, and so I was just like, yeah, I'd rather focus on this one. Okay, here we go. Okay. So like 290. Like, oh no, the more I say it out loud, the more I'm just like, maybe I can go to like 87 or something. Like hard cutoff is 85. Like not even thinking about buying if it doesn't go that far. If anything, I'm about to buy right now. 3, 2, now?
Executed.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let that do its thing. But what was I saying? CAR made 4.1K, and I went in at 386. Came out. See, I went in at 386. It bounced a little bit to. I'll just show you. Yeah, it bounced a little bit to 351. I added about a quarter of my size, and then I covered at 319. Yeah, and so like that was just me going down. On this, I'm risking. If I want to keep it really, really tight, I'd go for 287. But that's one of those in the small candles. They look for that to like shake you out. But there's so many people in this that like it's really hard to manipulate it. Like there's enough people that are going to be greedy just because it's dipped below 300, and I trust those greedy people. But other than that, because my actual size I want to go in this is about like minimum 50. If I let my greed take advantage, and it's a short in the upper 300s, I want to go in the 100 quantity, which is 30K plus, like 32, 30, something like that. Speaking of that, let me bring up my calculator. I really need to work on my ADD. Hold on. What did you trade yesterday? Yeah, I traded OLB, took a small loss. Didn't get involved with like the 12 and 9 area. If it goes back up to 9 on OLB, that would be like a consistent area to like risk a little bit. For if you want even higher odds, if it goes above like the 9.5, that actually might be a little bit of support. So you'd wait to like the 11 and 12 area again. But what was I saying? Yeah, it respected like the 12.6 and 12.8 area pretty decently. I just didn't trade that because I was focused on the volatility and stuff in this. But what else? The high volume dip buy reminds me of the scene of Braveheart where William Wallace keeps yelling, hold the line. I understand. Yeah, but again, when it comes to like these type of parabolics and hypes, and I feel like there's another word for it. You want to have a specific risk and you want to have a specific target. You get what you want and you get out. Because if you stay longer, you're basically asking to get hit, and you get what you ask for in the market. It's just sometimes you don't actually want what you think you want. Yeah, but that's a different story. If anything, I kind of should have dip bought that too. Yeah, 21 is a pretty popular area. Like below this, if it cracked like 20.6 or something, then that's where I'd start worrying. But until that point, no, we're good. I still think this still has a little bit of room to go back down. So I'm gonna leave that there. But for now, where am I at? I'm at 295 on that. If I go $15, I think that's like 3%. I have 25 position in that, so that's about 7K. See, this is supposed to be my normal size. It's like 8K. Okay, but what am I doing? I already told that. OCGN multi-day breakout. So with that, it had a lot of resistance because it's OCGN and it's $1 billion cap. But in terms of an edge, I wouldn't touch it right now. Like what? I don't even see the reason to trade it really. OCGN, but it is an OG ticker. OCGN. Like, we made plenty of money on this. In the meantime, let's just hide these two. We have two charts over here. What am I doing? Yeah, like 800 was here, if I remember. 900 on here. Whoa. Yeah. But like this came from like 15 or 16, like something with not enough extension for us to actually short. So I wouldn't do it. Yeah, 15. Only went up to like 17. All that resistance that it has, all that resistance that it has now goes up to 18. And like it's pretty thick. So like this is one of those kind of unbreakable resistances. But think about, where is it gonna fall? Like any previous, I'm watching you, but any previous support that gets like broken is gonna become a resistance, which is cool. But you still have to break that resistance. And like, how do you know it's not gonna just bounce up? And like, you know, it's a really tight range either way. And there's really no profits on like that $15 stock. Like max, you get like $1 or $2, and that's not worth it to me. At that case, I'd rather take my, you know, chances with this, or there was another ticker that was up. But let me just take that off, bring these back. I'm watching you. All right, so what am I doing? I made lunch money yesterday, and I'm happy with that. That's good. I hope you enjoy your lunch. Make sure to, you know, balance out the food groups and nutrients. Drink plenty of water. BBBY open so weak. Yep. The thing is, I forgot what the sector was. Everyone really wants to go long on it, and so like that's good. But you know, only the bravest of us all are just gonna go straight in. What sector is? I'm watching you. Look at it. Look at it. It's testing me. Either people are getting really skittish. I'm not going to be one of those guys that bring up the SPY. They're like, oh my God, the market's going down. Because I know, well, this isn't a penny stock, so that could do something. I can't really tell if any news is coming out right now either. That's just, okay. Didn't drop here. Didn't surprise me. Drop here. Yeah. I still think, like, even if it does like dip down a little bit, it's going to come back around 1030 area. You know how liquidity works. People are still just waking up. You know, I could say some real funny stuff, but probably might get fired. Let's see. Is OLB tradable? It ended up working after the squeeze. There you go. So with that, I'd say like up to like 950, or like where it started testing at the end of the day. That might be a small short you can go for. There was a decent amount that was like tested around this area, like front end and back end. But the real resistance is up here. And I don't think there's enough buying pressure to even get past like, you know, that 850 to like 950 point, because everyone and their mom like was trying to get out between like 8 and 950. What do you call it? And then the people that shorted like up here, yeah, they definitely held it overnight. This was actually supposed to go to 6. Oh wait, it did go to 6. Never mind. Okay, what am I doing? So let's see. Is OLB trackable? It ended up working after the squeeze. Yeah, so with this type of let me hide these again. With OLB, it's a gap up. And with a gap up, you have a pushing percentage. Hey, come on, keep going. But you have a pushing percentage, and the first spike, it met the minimum pushing percentage, so that was like pretty good. But there wasn't enough. Like pretty much there was like too much volume coming in, and it didn't drop like fast enough. And so like it's short squeeze, but it's still within our expectation. You remember when I show my what do you call it? My rule sheet. The reason that we have like a gap up short and you build a position and you keep your wrist tight is for this exact situation. Because what happens is this is the early soft limits of that pushing percentage, but it goes all the way up to the hard limits of the pushing percentage. And so I just pull up the calculator. Was it 4.59 if I remember right? 4.59 times what is it? Well, pretty much like this was, oh wait, no, you have to go for the open. The other one is just like, yeah, I'll show you from the beginning. I just don't want to like get too distracted and get away from that. So pretty much this previous day was 4.59. That times like minimum 70%. What the hell just happened? Hold on. 4.59 times minimum like 70%. That puts you at 7.8. This open is, this open at 7.8. Now from that 7.8, that pushed about 20%. That's what that like 9.23 was, or like 9.3. Now from that, that's just the lower range of like the pushing percentage. You take that same 83? Oh yeah, 9.8. Man, I'm all over the place. You take that same 9.8 times 1.6, that gives you 12.48. I feel like there was actually supposed to be like a 1 or something there, but pretty much that shows you where the potential top is, which is supposed to be like 912 or something. And then what do you call it? It's still going. It's like every time this gets next to my risk, I'm just like, what are you trying to do, huh? So don't do what I'm doing right now. Like the more you stare at it, the more it's gonna talk to you. But remember, my risk is like, 190 to like 185. But at the same time, like it's pretty solid right now. The only thing that would like really shake me out with this kind of thing is if there was a like big pull, at least $20 in like one candle, I'd wait a little bit, wait for it to come back up. Then I'd size out like half or all, just depending on like how, if it looks like a confirmation that it's going to be a death candle next one. And then I might even like flip a position. It really depends on the bounce. But what was I doing? I was doing something. Yeah. So there's a soft limit, then there's the hard limit, and then there's like a little bit of wiggle room or slippage. Past that point, that's where it's a break of the pattern. At that point, that's when you don't trade. But everything in between these, that's still tradable. That's still within expectation. And like when you track that based off of the high of the day, the low after the high of the day, and what do you call it? The percentage pushed up to the open. And so like that's gap up short in the shortest sense. Everything else after that is just like, creating rules that help you stay profitable. Make sure your wins are smaller than your losses. Because with this type of stuff, just like multi-day runners and stuff, if your criteria and everything is a little too tight, you might take like, several losses on the way up, get faked out like several times. So you're going to have to get a a rough guess of what's going to happen. Hey, I'm up 3%. What do you call it? Also, the supply changes all the time. So the longer you hold this, the more like this is actually just going to go up even at the same price. But there's all little things that you just have to know in terms of details. But before you even do that, you have to know the macro. Like, what is a gap up short? How do you trade it? How do you track it? And etc. like that. And that's where you go to stevendexy.com. I'm pretty sure I just gave you enough. But like anything I give out here is something that I'm pretty sure Steven's already given out on YouTube. It's just he hasn't given it out in a clear cut, cookie cutter recipe way. But what was I about to say? Keep going up. What am I doing? Dontez, I trust those greedy people. I don't know your last name. Yeah, Lindsay. Yeah, Lindsay. Yeah. Oh no, I was thinking about like my middle name, and I'm just like, which one is the blackest sounding name? Because like they all have the first name, so it's weird. But trackable, not tradable. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Because this was a $3, maybe $4 million float, and small floats, they're very volatile, and you can take a lot bigger losses on those, where it would take you, more than one, probably like 3 trades just to get back the losses you got from these type of plays. And it's just a lot easier just to either size down a lot and try this play, like, like a third or a tenth of what you normally would go in on like a really decent high odd setup. It is, what is this? It only has like a 70, maybe 75% winning percentage, like on the front end. And then like once you form like that higher extension and then the price gets a little higher. Well, seeing that this is a stock between like $7 to like $10, it actually adds a lot of winning percentage. But if this was like something like $2, $3, $4, $5, and then it had that same amount of extension, then that'd be not suicide, but it'd be really hard to manage, because the cheaper the stock, the more people can just wake up one day, feel a little froggy, and they want to jump at something, and they see a cheap stock, and they're just like, today's the day. I think I'm going to get rich. This is the next GME, etc. What am I doing? How do we track tickers like PTPI? I've noticed a few tickers that go parabolic, but I'm not sure how to track them. So with the parabolics, you have to understand what's important on a parabolic. Right. I can't tell if like TZ is glitching or if this is actually moving like that, and I hate it. But I was about to say, let me take this away. Put that in the back. Okay. What's it doing? Parabolics. When you track parabolics, you're looking for its top percentage, and you're looking for the maximum profit that you can make. So range gain, range loss. Other than that, range, or like the volume up to the top tick. If you track any type of like, maximum amount of money in the market and like maximum dollar block, float rotations, and like all that other stuff, you can do that later. But for now, you just want to track the information that everyone has. So like, high, low, previous close, volume, pre-market volume, volume up to the top tick, top tick, right, low tick after the top tick, and what do you call it? When it comes to like specific percentage points on those parabolics, there's going to be what do you call it? There's going to be like key areas or levels like around those whole dollars. But like when you're in parabolics, whole dollars become like, $100, then like $150. Before it was like, $5, and then goes to like $5.50. Like people are looking for those easy to calculate areas because everyone's trying to move their hands pretty quickly. And so they just do estimates. And, enough people are doing that that it actually does something. And the only time that messes up when you throw like an algo or like a hedge fund and like some chat pumps and some other stuff. But you can get around those when you start to recognize where they are. But that's like one of the details. Before you get anything, you have to get the macro down. But what am I doing? The highest odd play can be seen on any type of range gain and range loss. It doesn't matter if it's a parabolic or not. And that's why when you practice a good gap up short, you can trade a good parabolic like it's a gap up short with the same amount of like, tight risk. It's a high price stock. It's going to go up really high, then come down really hard. And then when it comes down really hard, it's not going to all be in the same day. And if it is, that's probably, what do you call it? A bigger person, like, pulling the rug on you. There's all kinds of things that can, what do you call it? You can fall into a trap, but like you just have to track those minimum things like it's a gap up short. And then, what do you call it? Anything unique about that parabolic or gap up or whatever you're tracking, you want to note that. So if it had an earnings winner that day, you put that in there. If it was on SSR, you put that. Actually, when it's on SSR, you track it separately because that messes with the entire supply. But it doesn't look like that when you look at your like platforms and stuff. Let me take this away. I want to keep the bigger picture in mind so I don't do anything reckless. But what does it say? Also, let's see what's going on. PPTI. Yeah. Tried it again. 2 days. 2 minutes. Okay. So $1 went to $3. Okay, see, this is one of those, like, you can just assume that the people that are scared to get on CAR and scared to get on BBY, they're going to the other top gainers. And since this one's the other top gainer, if you have a decent idea of how many bulls are in the market at the time, you can see what kind of percentage this is going to push. And a good gauge of that is like where did it open at. And so like this only went up in the pre-market 50 cents from like 180. And so that's not much. Yeah, I hate doing math while trying to like only use half my attention. But what am I doing? 880 divided by, what is it? What was it again? 230. Okay, so that pushed like 30%, 25%. It's at $3 right now. Like with this, there's a maximum amount of pushing percentage before it becomes top heavy. There we go. And like when it becomes top heavy, that it's going to slow down its momentum. And depending on like the time of like, the wave of people coming in, because it's not like Forex, like 23-hour market. We only have to worry about like our specific edge in time that we're tracking. And we know how many people come in during that time. Like on average, it's only when the people from like, the back end or like the middle of the day, when they just decide, oh, this morning I saw something before I went to bed, I need to be on the morning shift. Because like the people in the morning shift, they're usually the same people until they die, and then they come back and they get replaced by like their best friend or something. But circle of life. Now the what am I doing? Another that's kind of advanced techniques. I don't know if I should share that. So if it finds some type of bottom, like, because you're asking about parabolics, just how this car found like a kind of a bottom at like 3.09, you can work within a specific range of like that bottom, and then similar to like a gap up short. There's some like gap up shorts, like once it finds a bottom, just like the short squeeze, it's expected to have a specific range from that short squeeze. And so you can track either the push from the open, or you can track the push from that like support that it found. And like in both those cases, they're going to give you a rough like range. And at the end of the day, you have to let the pattern develop and like show itself to you, but you're going to start to see the same kind of concepts or the same kind of pulls and find support pushes from there, and they're going to be in the same rough areas, because psychology is like where most of these patterns are deeply rooted, because a lot of it is skills of well-being. A lot of people just can't stomach holding a position, and then like the short term, most of the people get faked out, and like it keeps the same look. You just have to get used to like recognizing that look. But like from this could easily go to, okay, I want to say there's support here because it's only like 2 candles, but it's around my average now. My hairs are on my back. They're standing up. They're like, but pretty much this could double from that area, and you just pretty much never know. But what you do see is there's some type of consolidation, and the longer this goes, the more people are going to get frustrated. And if it keeps having those like higher lows, it's probably going to do like an extra 10, maybe like 11, 12% push. Really depends on like what statistics and the float of this PTPI. Let's see. Because each one has its own specific like average pushing percentage. PTPI. Yeah, I just thought. Yeah, so 22 million cap and a 7 million float. Yeah, so this should be pretty good. But it's still a $3 stock. So this has a morning edge, but if it goes into like the later day, the edge in between is not going to be as what should I say, like high odds, because there's like a dead zone, or not dead zone, what do you call it? How do I go back? Okay, there we go. There's a space where the liquidity either like falls off because like less people are coming in, because most of the volume comes in the like 30% of the entire total volume of the day comes in like at the beginning. And so you'll see physically when that falls off. It's not really right now, like, because there's supposed to be another wave coming in. But what is it? If this like finds another support, this easily can like go up another 20 more cents. Could even like get up to $4 because it's found some support at 2. The people that were like down here, but they were just like, oh, maybe I can hold my breath for like 50% of my account. At one point, they're going to just be like, that plan's not going to work. If anything, this kind of reminds me of ENTX, like one of the first stocks I got squeezed on, like for 5,000. I'm in like 250, and then it went up to 320. And when it went up to 320, I'm still in the position. And at this point, I'm like, okay, it found some type of top. I went in, and like you can see what's happening right now. When it went to that point, that's where I covered. And then it went up to like 410, 380, 390 area. Like I have so many prices burnt into my memory of like where it's getting stuck. And the thing is, it could easily find some type of resistance based off of the previous stuff. But for it to do that, you'd have to have some like pretty noticeable either consistent resistance or individual resistances, which I don't really see anything worth mentioning. But other than that, let me just go back to CAR and BBBY. As soon as I unhide these. Oh, there we go. Let's see what the chat's saying. Yeah, I'm watching you. Like 47 million volume. This one only has 3. Yeah, I'll do it later. So let's see. I made lunch money a week. OLB tradable. Ended up after we Dontez. Not tradable. How do we track it? Okay. Thought on BKKT. BKKT. So BKKT, it had a lot of resistance at like 39 area. It went up to 50 the day before that. And so if it does some type of push, it has multiple layers of resistance to go through. Okay, yeah, it has multiple layers of resistance to pass through, to overcome. Yeah, basically it has a long way to go. So any kind of bounce into the 39, 41, and if it gets past like 41, it's almost like a guaranteed it's going to go closer to like 47 at least. But yeah, you know, below 41 and 39, between that like zone right there, yeah, go wild. Or at least I would. Because what happens is all these tickers have memory, and then, you know, memory added to common behavioral biases, you know, you'll find some type of edge. Now, what I'm starting to see is CAR right now, even though the second wave of liquidity isn't in, it's been testing this 290 area for a little bit too long. I could be patient and stick to my risk of like, you know, 284, 285, which would risk $10. Yeah, and that's only like 2%, 2% of yeah, two, like 2.5 probably, and let's see, what is that? That's 2AK, 2%. Yeah, okay, yeah, $100-something. But I was about to say, doesn't look like any volume coming in right now for either of these in comparison to, like, you know, its previous. And the way it works is it's gonna spiral, flip, and then like burst up. But we were expecting this to go to somewhere closer to 40. And again, most of the volume comes in at the beginning of the day, and we still haven't seen anything so far. So I don't like it. Kind of want to see what Steven says, but I'll wait. BKKT. Oh, wait, I already said it. Yeah, it goes up to like 39 to like 40 area. Any bounce, pretty much. Oh, it already went up there. I'm a little late. Sorry. What do you call it? But other than that, since those areas are so solid, once that test, even just this once that already happened, this can go to yeah, around like 29, 30 area. And then it would have to crack that support. Yeah, it would have to crack that support. But like that might take a while unless everyone just, you know, they're done with this. Because this is still another, you know, went up 300% kind of stock. And all those, they just take a while to drop. And so you can go fishing as much as you want in between, like the couple weeks that it takes to go down. And it already had its double pullback. And so that's another, hey, there we go. We're making money now. Well, I hate that it shows red signs though. Well, technically, yeah, that's true. But we're making money now, 4%. You don't look at the money, because like if you look at the money, you'll get trapped. You got to stay looking at this percentage. That's the only way to not FOMO, but like it's the only way to stay bigger picture. Let's go with that. Because if you start seeing this percentage, you're going to be like, oh, next time it goes to 290, I'm going to put in, you know, 5 times my position. You know, forget it. Honey, go sell the house. We're gonna put in 10 times. I'm like, yeah, don't do that. What am I saying? Yeah, I think I already gave my BKKT. There's something I'm forgetting. Oh, the chat. There we go. really really much not going on right now. GME coming back. I'm not even looking at that. That scarred me. Oh, even though I did it to myself. Can we get some insight on how Steven made $2 million on BKKT? When you say insight, like, are you talking about on? I don't even think he top ticked that one. Like, that was just like a casual one after his big play, and he's just like, I can't size down right now, and then he's just, yeah, hold on, I'll just bring it back up. So when he traded it, he went in pre-market, and he what do you call it? He usually wakes up around like there, and so he saw this. Hold on, I gotta keep making sure that's okay. But he saw this, and was it 50 times? But pretty much he used like the advanced techniques from like Ductionator, and like that showed him that this was a specific zone for what do you call it? It wasn't maximum dollar block, or was it? It was something. Like, I remember talking about it that day, but it was mostly. Oh, I remember. It was something about the previous couple days. In that week/couple weeks, a lot of longs have been getting like crushed, and so when it pushed up this far, there was a high chance that it was going to drop, because the money was not in the long's hands. And so like that was one of those, you just have to have enough screen time to recognize it. Plus, this thing went from, $9 to $55. And like I already mentioned that a few times, like once it goes over 300, mostly 400%, there's bound to be a big pullback. And so, when you see this kind of pullback and then it comes back up, there's not enough people, especially in pre-market, to consistently hold that amount. And so like he just straight, he was like, oh, they can't hold that, and they can't hold me. And he put the Hao Tian hammer down on them, and then they couldn't handle it. This whole candle could have been him. You never know. But what was I about to say? Or at least one of the small ones, because I think this has a big float. But what was I about to say? Yeah, but like that's the concept, if you get it. Like, money's not in the long's hands. Big person comes in, overextended stock by 400%, and like that by itself is just unhealthy. And then like there was already a confirmed top, and so like having just those three, not even criteria or factors, but just having those three edge potential factors equaled a death candle or a GG candle. All right, now what am I doing? Can we? Won't you short 39 BKKT? Won't you short it? So, where are you at? Oh, wait. Where'd it go? So I want to focus on BBBY and CAR, because if you split your focus like too much, it'll come back to get you. But wait, why is the price not showing up here? Oh, here we go. We got to link it. And okay, I'll worry about that later. So so if it goes back up now, that'll just be 2 tests. If there's like 3 tests of that 39 area, it still has enough, you'd call it consistent, like resistance from the previous days, where we just assume like 15, maybe 20% of those people are trapped, and they're going to become bag holders. And not even like 15, 10%, like even 5% is enough. And as long as the volume ratio is pretty good in terms of like what we think is being trapped versus like, what's pushing into there. Because there's real no incentive for like people to, push this up right now. Yeah, 39 would be a good place. It's just, if you do that, you would have to hold it the entire day waiting for it to slow grind. Because like, how slow grind works. If it slow grinds going up, it's going to eat that resistance slowly. If it slow grinds going down, it's going to eat that support really slowly. Now, what do you call it? Yeah, this one doesn't really count right here. This one, not even like sideways, like consolidation, dense area, but it does have a lot of volume. So we have to give it some type of, what do you call it? Attention. The aftermarket, not as much. It just seems like too tight of a consolidation for me right now. Like the only edge for short I would like really go into, like no hesitation, is if it, went through these two, that attracted more longs, had that, 20%, even just 10% push, then went back up to that area. Then worst I would have to like risk is like, a fake out. But now I just be dividing my attention and potentially losing odds on, two plays that could potentially either like spike up a little bit then drop. I basically I think there's better options. Like even that PTPI, like I put that over the BKKT right now. What do you call it? There's the other one, the Trump ticker, the one that's being looked at right now. DWAC. Like there's so many other tickers that I would put over that. Even I could just go to my casual watch list and look at like other. I think I mentioned one of them. Not OCGN, RRTD. Like even that, I'd put that over the BKKT right now. Okay, yeah, nah. Forget the DWAC. I really want that to spike up. But other than that, these things are still just going sideways right now. Might just take my 3% and run. Now think about it. All right, I'll just show you the math. So $15 divided by 300, that's 5%. $15 divided by 400, that's 3%. Like 3.7, so about 4%. I'm only going for those $15 moves, and so I'm trying to get like $45 minimum, $60 if I'm like lucky, and risking only like what 10, 15, maximum 20. On this one, it should be finding some support soon. So I actually might dip by this real soon. Yeah, because if so it held the 250, and as long as it doesn't break like past that, like I'll say 230, like a risking 20 cents on a $20 stock. Ooh. As long as it doesn't break that like 220, I won't have a fear as long as it goes down to like 1980. But once it breaks that, yeah, this easily can go to 15 or something. I don't know. Just in terms of like, prices over the past 6-7 years that I have burnt in my head watching Steven trade / like through webinars and stuff. But other than that, like I do it. I do it again. But what am I doing? Let me go over here. Won't show it. Why 287 is risk level? There's no support there. 285. Yeah, so again, it's like cognitive bias, or I forgot what you call it. Let's just show you something. Let's do. Oh, here's one. Behavioral bias recognition. Trading based off the inefficiencies in the market related with predicting biases of traders and building models to predict when this action occurs. So this is just one of those biases that traders have. Whole numbers, half dollars. With a 285, that's a bias mostly on the statistics part. Like the statistic traders, like those big firms that, there's enough people that they have their own personality, and then they have a specific amount of slippage in percentages. Those things add up. And then over time, when it comes to like these hypes, everybody's in there, and you start to see in each of the hypes what everybody looks like in terms of, I was about to say when grandpa comes to the cookout, but pretty much I'm playing with that slippage idea and adding in like an extra like 1.5%. Yeah, 1.5%. And then that brings me down to 285. All right, what am I doing? Yeah, but you don't have to do that. You could this is just what I do. Like it's really whatever you want to focus on in terms of like your edge. In mine, I just use everything I've tracked / trust in terms of like, I've seen this happen too many times not to believe in like there's something there. Well, what was I about to say? Yeah, let me just get this out of the way. What are your positions right now? Right now I only have one. I just have a long at 295. I really want this to go into like the upper 300s, like minimum mid 300s. If it gets into the high 300s, oh yeah, I'm starting my short, or I'm gonna start building from that point. Like, and the higher it goes, like past like 260 or no 360, that's where I'm just gonna start getting bigger and bigger up to like probably 40K. What do you call it? But for now, I'm only risking like $10-15, which is, like 4 or 5%. Yeah, 4 or 5%, like 3.7 to something like that. And that's $160 because I only have a position of like, 8,000 right now. If this had, if this was yesterday, where there was that big pull, and then like the statistics said, hey, around $3, because that's how it is with like $5 stocks after it drops, around the $3 area, that's where you'll find that 15-20% bounce. If it was anything like that, that's where I'd put in like a lot more. But right now we're in the second day, and so technically this is not the second green day. What do you call that? So there's all kinds of factors that you can like. There's all kind of angles that you can look at this. It's just you choose your favorite, and then you bet on that. But what was I about to say? Yeah. So this gapped up, and I remember how I told you like if in the aftermarket how it's a lot harder to like beat it down. That's another incentive. Why does this say 25? Isn't it supposed to be in the hundreds? Maybe. Oh no, somehow I feel like it's my fault. Hold up. Oh well, doesn't matter. All right, it's about 10:30. So let's read the last questions. Can we get some I already did that. Short. Nope. I don't have any trading idea now. No opportunity, I think. What are your positions right now? Yeah, only have the one at 295. Again, this is one of those tickers where the reason I have small size is because everyone is here. This is it's not something that can easily be manipulated, but there's enough like hedge funds and stuff, and like they realize they have room for error, and so they could just easily come in and like boost this up. But at the same time, if it's anything like GME and AMC, if there's a battle between the retail and the hedge funds again, you know, this would be the opportunity for them to do it. Might even be BBY. You just never know. All I got to say is, you know, stay safe, keep your risk, and aim for a fixed amount of profit, get what you want, and then get out. Anything else outside of that, you're playing with fire. But yeah, guys, if you like what you saw, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.